Hold. There we go. Camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two. I don't watch TV, but there's this lady who gave this awesome speech. She won an Emmy, and her name is Alex Borstein. Borstein? Tomato, tomato. When she accepted her Emmy, she was talking about her grandmother, who was a Holocaust survivor. And this is what she said in her speech. They are immigrants, they are Holocaust survivors. My grandmother turned to a guard. She was in line to be shot into a pit, and she said, "What happens if I step out of line?" And he said, "I don't have the heart to shoot you, but somebody will." And she stepped out of line. And for that, I am here. And for that, my children are here. So step out of line, ladies, step out of line. Now, I don't know who this actor is, but I think this is so relevant to what's going on in the world today. And it's so relevant to what I talk out to you ladies all the time. I got phone calls yesterday from 3 women in abusive relationships. And the conversation I had to have with them is, I love you, but nothing will change until you leave. Nothing's going to change unless you set your foot down. Nothing's going to change unless you step out of line. And you know what? Like, I've been there. Me too. Like, I've been in abusive relationships, both physical and mental and emotional. I have had to step out of line. I know it's hard. It sucks. It sucks. Like, you want to believe he's going to change. And yesterday I had to have 3 conversations where, like, he's not going to change. Like, it's not going to change. You got to get out. When I started on my health journey about 16 years ago, I had to step out of line, okay? Like, I was raised on a box food diet. I was raised on pharmaceutical products. I was just thought that was my lot in life. I was fat and I was sick all the time. And I had to step out of line. What I had to do was had to start keeping a food diary. Why? Because the birth control I was on, it had to do with nutrient deficiency. But the doctor said that that's what I needed to regulate my periods. No, I just needed more raw fruits and vegetables in my diet. The second thing was, I was on seizure medication, and they told me I was going to be on that for the rest of my life. But here's the thing. All I had to do was take like the MSG and the ginseng and the other things out of my diet that were causing it, and add hydration, and boom, I was off of my seizure medication. Like, I had to step out of line. And then when it came to my daughter with all of her health issues, I had to take her out of the medical system and learn how to heal her body myself, because I couldn't handle the lack of results and the expense that I was having. And what's worse is I couldn't handle her screaming constantly in pain. And she was 3 years old. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. And I had to go against the grain of every single thing I was raised with, every single belief and value that I was raised with. I had to step out of line. I had to get out of my comfort zone. And guess what? The proof is in the pudding. I went from a size 13 to a size 5. I've been able to maintain that for like almost 6 years now. And what's more is we haven't had a sick visit. We've had 1 sick visit in 10 years. And what's even more is that I used to pay thousands and thousands of dollars out of pocket every year on health costs to have a quality of life that didn't align with the way that I wanted to look and feel. And guess what? I don't have those expenses anymore. Ladies, I have faced so much judgment and so much ridicule and so much verbal abuse over these decisions that I have made. I have faced so much ridicule and judgment, and I've had Catholics tell me that I'm working with the devil, and I've had people tell me that I'm listening to quack science. I had to divorce my husband because of all of this. Like, I had to go to the length of ending my marriage to stand up and fight for what I know to be true and right and just in this life. I have had to abandon so many things in this life to get the quality of life and to get the freedom that I have. And it has been so frustrating and so lonely at times. And I've cried and I've banged my head up against the wall, and I've lost friendships, and I have lost relationships with family, and I have lost a man who I thought I was going to spend my whole entire life with. But for that, I have a quality of life, personally, professionally, mentally, and emotionally, that I only once dreamed of. And my kids have a quality of life, and they are parented in a way that they deserve to be parented. And that is because I had the courage to step out of line. It's because I don't buy into products and services from industries that I don't believe in. I do my research. I do my research nowadays. It's because when I started looking at the ingredients in the food system, I started cutting out those products that were not serving us well. Okay. And here's the thing, I gave up my bells and whistles. I gave up all my fun, fancy coffees. I gave up all my delicious comfort foods. And I have had to learn to replace them with things that are satisfying, delicious, and give me the results that I want. That was a journey. When it came to pharmaceuticals, I was able to get off of all of my medications. And you're right, I question all of the ingredients in all of our pharmaceutical company products. Why? Because they're lying to us. They're lying about so much stuff, and they're being sued left and right about over the products that can be sued. But you know what? When it comes to things that I've had to make big decisions, like I don't trust doctors anymore. And I don't trust pharmaceutical companies anymore. And I don't trust the food industry anymore. And I really do my research because that is how I have gotten the sustainable quality of life that I have. I question everything. And I question everything because there was a point in my life where I didn't, and I suffered large consequences to that. I have had to step out of line. So for all of you who are like, you're such an inspiration, your life is this and that and the next thing, ladies, I know what that's like, to be standing in that line doing everything I'm supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be, just going with thinking I don't have a choice. And I am telling you, we drive world economies. We drive our local economy. We drive our national economy when we stand up and we don't give money to the interests that do not serve us. So they don't have the money to give to the politicians who create the laws that take our freedoms. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't buy those products and those goods and those services that are not serving us. When we do our research, we become equipped to make different purchasing decisions. And when we do that, lobbyists lose their money. And then guess what? They don't have money to stuff politicians' pockets, and then laws don't get created. So here's the thing. I would love to encourage you to step out of line, okay? We have so much great stuff we can be doing in this world, but we got to have the courage to step out of line. And we got to do it for ourselves, and we got to do it for our babies, and we got to do it for our loved ones, because that's our responsibility in this world. And gentlemen, if you could have the courage to come along too, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. But I encourage you all today, and I would love to hear in the comments section, what are the things you have done to step out of the line, that are against the status quo, that are against the grain of society, that you know you're making a huge difference and you're making an impact for future generations by making those decisions. Because just because you're one person does not mean you can't have a powerful trickle effect within your community and within your world community, okay? So I love you, ladies. Please step out of line. Be courageous. We believe in you. You got to do this. And